Hello, I'm Blair Jacobs and welcome to Swift TV, and this, the third in our series of a guide to buying your first caravan. Now, so far we've looked at what to look for in buying your first caravan and also how to load it correctly. And in this episode we're going to be concentrating on how to hitch it up to your car, and most importantly how to tow it properly so that you can enjoy the freedom and the type of holiday that only this type of leisure vehicle can give you. So I now have a properly loaded caravan and we've weighed it and the nose weight. But what's next? How do I hitch it properly onto my car, for example? Well, Lee is still with me, our expert and experienced caravanner who also writes for the Caravanning Press. Thanks for sticking around.
Hi Blair.
Nice to see you again. So what is next?
Well, first I must make sure the caravan handbrake is on, which
Okay.
it is.
Yep.
And that all the corner steadies are up.
Which we've done.
Which we've done.
Yep.
And the next thing is to get the tow car and put it in front.
Reverse it onto the machine.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go do that then. I think you better do this.
Okay. So now we've pulled in front of the caravan, we want to be nice and level, same as the caravan. So all we're going to do is reverse back so the hitch is close to the tow ball, hopefully.
Yeah, now you see, I think you've done that before.
It could have been a bit closer, I admit.
Not bad for a first attempt. All right, where do we go from here?
Well, now we need to get the hitch onto the tow bar.
Okay.
If you've got a motor mover, it can make it a bit easier, especially if you're on your own. But you look quite strong. I'm sure you can give me a hand to pull it forward.
I'll try.
So what we need to do is lift up the stabiliser hitch and the coupling hitch, which will click into place. And if you could just grab the other handle
Yes.
for me,
Okay.
we'll let the handbrake off and just pull it forward onto the tow ball. Now that's pretty close.
Yeah.
We'll put the handbrake on, and then we've got the jockey wheel. So we'll wind the jockey wheel down, and when it's on, this handle will click back, and then we can
That's
wind.
locked it on now, has it?
That's locked it on.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this is a stabiliser hitch. You can push this down as well, and that is, we spoke about snaking earlier on,
Yes.
and this will help counteract that.
Okay.
So we'll put the hitch on, and then we'll wind this all the way up, making sure that the forks locate there. Now I'll unclip the breakaway cable.
Now I don't. What's the breakaway cable? I've not heard of that.
It's basically, should the worst happen and the caravan unhitches for whatever reason, all it does, as it suggests, it breaks away and puts the brake on the caravan.
Okay.
So we put that around the tow ball and clip it together there. And now we can raise the jockey wheel and stow it into place with the clamp. And then we get
The electrics.
the electrics,
Yeah, recognise that.
and we plug them in here. That's the electrics in place.
Yeah.
Now we know we put the handbrake on the car earlier. Now all that's left is to let the handbrake off the caravan.
So now that's totally reliant on the car.
Exactly.
All right, fine. What's next?
Check the lights.
Right, you go and push your
If
pedal.
I go that way,
I'll shout.
brilliant.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Right, let's see whether all these lights are working properly. Lee, try your brake lights. Yep, they're good. Side lights. Okay, it's around the sides. Yes, they're good. Indicators. Yep. Other side's working. Yep, that's good. Reversing lights. Yep, they're good. Wonderful. That all appears to be in order then. Well, that's good then. All the lights seem to be working.
We just need to check to make sure everything's done, such as the doors are shut,
Yep.
windows are shut, especially the roof lights as well. They're easy to forget, and the steadies are up,
Okay.
and also the front locker.
Well, I know the back steadies are up because I had a quick look at those.
Okay.
The door's definitely closed. These steadies on your side's up, I presume, as well. Now.
Yes,
there
we
are.
need to lock that.
Okay.
That's it.
Caravan secure.
Okay.
Any other checks then, or can we just get on with it now?
Once we've done the tow mirrors, we're ready to go.
Towing mirrors this way.
Okay.
Right, here we are then. Towing mirror.
Okay,
How does that fix?
2 simple clamps. Just undo the screws, slide them on, clamp them in place.
That's easy enough.
Not only are they a legal requirement for some cars, or most cars in fact, they're also a handy tool to judge the gap of the caravan behind. The extra width here allows you to judge the extra width there. And they simply clamp into place.
Nice and tight. Okay.
And it's done.
Good. Now what about speed limits as well? Because I know they're a factor, or they change, don't they, when you're towing?
They do. If you're on a single carriageway, instead of doing 60, you're meant to do 50. And if it's a motorway or dual carriageway, 60 instead of 70.
So you drop it by 10 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
I tell you one of the things that I find a bit daunting, I think, about this whole thing, Lee, and that's, I mean, it's all very well going forwards,
Yeah.
but it's reversing. This is a big, long thing now.
Okay.
And that worries me a little bit.
Okay. Well, you can either go on a manoeuvring course run by someone such as the Caravan Club, which is a great confidence builder, or if you like, I can show you a few tips now.
All right, you hop in and let's go for a drive. So we're all lined up.
It helps if you're straight, the caravan's straight behind you, and you're in a nice straight line right through the caravan and the car. And if you reverse, if you see more of the caravan in one mirror than the other, such as that side now, we can see more.
Yes.
All you do is simply turn the top of the steering wheel towards it, not too much, nice slow movement, just to bring it back in line. Watch the other side and you can see the other side, turn the wheel towards that, and we can keep it in line. And that way, if you just follow it, it makes it nice and easy to reverse back. It helps if you pick an aim point. I'm using the white lines on the floor for the car park, and we're just following the white lines all the way down. So if we pull forward again, we'll get it to turn as though we're going onto a pitch this time.
I see.
So we'll just turn the steering wheel and follow it. Pick an aim point in your mirror as though we're pitching. Watch the back of the caravan.
You can see that's coming all the way around now.
All the way, and just follow it with the steering wheel.
Quite an angle to the car now, and you're following, the car is now following the front of the caravan.
Absolutely, and this is
now
how we're
straight
pitching it
up.
on site. And that's nicely level.
It's getting the
along the
hang of
lines.
which way to turn the wheel, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the opposite way. If you're parking your car without the caravan, it's the opposite way that you would turn. So if I was reversing the car the way we've just done, I'm turning it the opposite direction. But if you're unsure, just a tiny bit of movement, and you can work it, you can say, oh, no, that's wrong. If you do it slowly and small movements, you can quickly work out to follow it the other way. Once it's moving, it's an easy thing to catch it and just follow the movement of the caravan. Again, it's all about practice, but it's once if you've got a bit of space, 5 minutes is so well spent. Just reverse back, watch the side, see more of the caravan in one mirror, turn towards it, straighten up and just follow it.
I suppose one of the hints you would get is, or you would give is, once you've got your caravan and you've done all the preparation you need, find an empty car park and practice.
Yes, or even if you're on site for the first time and you've got a nice big pitch, possibly reverse onto it once or twice. If no one's around, you've got lots of room, reverse onto it, pull forward, reverse back again. Practice makes perfect.
Is it always helpful to get the help of someone, maybe someone else on the campsite? I'm sure people would come forward to help you reversing if they see you're a bit of a novice.
Yeah, absolutely. If Helen and the kids are there, they always tend to watch my blind side. Whenever you turn, whenever we're reversing, there's a side I can't see. We're reversing that way, I can't see the opposite corner of the caravan. So they can watch that side, and if I get close to something, I find a simple stop, and I can pull forward and try it again. But you can only tend to watch one side at a time, but that works well for us.
Okay, so that's reversing done, and thank you for all your tips on that. What about driving? What do I need to be careful of? What do I need to pay attention to, aside from the usual things when you're driving?
Well, we discussed the speed limits, as we know, so they're different. Obviously it's longer. We have the towing mirrors, which not only a legal requirement, but are very, very helpful.
What other problems might I incur while I'm towing then, Lee?
You can run into problems with pitching or snaking. Pitching is almost like a cross-channel ferry momentum. We go up and down, or snaking is where the caravan starts to weave. Now the Alco stabiliser hitch and the ATC help tremendously, reduce the levels of accidents greatly. So they're definitely worth having. But that doesn't mean you can't load your caravan correctly, which thankfully we've already covered.
And in terms of what I do should one of these things start to happen, what do I need to be aware of? What do I need to make the car do?
If you can avoid braking, if you've got the room, don't be tempted to brake, or don't be tempted to try and, if the caravan's snaking, don't try to steer in the opposite direction to try and alleviate the problem. If you can and you've got the room, just come off the pedals and let the engine brake in, bring it back into line.
Okay. Driving lesson over. I think it's time I had to go, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you for all your advice, Lee. It's been good talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Blair.
Lee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there we are. I've learned how to hitch up the caravan and hopefully to tow the caravan. It is now mine to enjoy the freedom of the holiday experience that these type of leisure vehicles can offer me. And while I do go and practice, by the way, join Lee in part 4 of this series, where he'll be giving you tips and hints on how to pitch your caravan when you arrive on site.